Hey, good afternoon. Today is Sunday, February 8th. The temperature is about minus 20 Celsius in Montreal. That's cold. Just to follow up on the P40, I applied the first coat of dope on the entire model. The weight went from 105 grams to 115 grams, so total weight of the cured dope on this model is about 7 grams. No, sorry, 6 grams. I was 109, now I'm 115. So that's not bad. What I'm actually working on is a few details and finishing the whole thing before I apply paint, which should be very, very soon. I did draw these dummy struts. I feel the piano wires is like ugly. So I prefer to do a dummy strut like this. I just gonna use some chrome monocoat here, and I'm gonna paint the other parts as usual, what we do with the gear struts. They are printed out of PLA Plus, so they contain a bit of ABS, so I'm gluing them with, they are two parts. I'm gluing them with the ABS glue. This adds a lot to the scale appearance of the model. And this too, this is part of the kit. It's vacuum formed, and it's a dummy fairing that goes here. And that was a little bit tricky to figure out. The way that they are vacuum, you get that main piece here, you got the two doors, and this piece has to be cut on this way, and that's the top part of the fairing, of the gear fairing. Now when I tried to fit this, I had those two parts, and that was quite complex. So I decided to glue this top part to the bottom part and then try fit the thing, and it was difficult to fit. It was not fitting properly. So I had to grind. I used my Dremel in a small bit like this, and I had to grind the fairing so I get the proper contour of the leading edge. Now that I have this done, it fits extremely well, very easy to put in place, and it adds a lot to the scale details of the model. I think you're going to see it better like this way. So I'm actually printing the second gear leg. I'm going to assemble the second fairing. I'm going to glue them in place, and I am going to glue in place the fuselage wing fairings on each side, and that's going to be about it before I start painting the whole model. So I'll keep you posted, and I'll keep track of the weight of the whole airplane as I'm going along the final steps of the building. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, February 17th. I'm moving along pretty good on the Guillows P40. Actually, what you see here, the painting, what I'm using are these watercolor acrylic paint. They're very cheap. Some colors have a good opacity, like the light brown. I only applied one coat. All this was brushed on. Because it is paper, I didn't want to go with an airbrush job where I would have needed a lot of taping, so I just did a regular little brush like this, and I brushed the colors on. It's not as nice as an airbrush job, but for what it is, it's going to do the job, and I'm okay with that. My planes are not Hangar Queens. I fly all of them, so it doesn't make a big difference to me if it could be better looking, but that's okay. The bottom is going to be light blue like this. I've added the different plastic parts that were not glued in place, like the door covers for the gear struts. I'm gonna paint the wheel well green. I did glue the canopy this morning. I also wanted to talk to you about the glue that I'm using. In the past I was using a glue for canopy called RC56, and I don't know if that glue is still available, but I found this in the dollar store, and I would say this is like a copy of the RC56. This works extremely well on plastic. So yeah, I just sanded the interior just a little bit, like a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch wide and I used that glue to glue the canopy in place, and it seems to work fine. So I've taped the areas that I don't want any paint on it. I sanded the outside with 600 grit paper. I will keep the scheme of the camouflage on over the cockpit frame, and then this is going to be cleared. But before I apply the clear, I will also do some line artwork on the airplane, just a few lines here and there that adds to the scale of the airplane. My pens were a little bit dry, so I went to the dollar store and I found these pens. You got three for $3.50 in Canada, so it's probably like a couple dollars in the States. But you get a 0.05 millimeter, 0.1 millimeter, a 0.3 millimeter. And I also bought a 1 millimeter pen. This one is a little bit bigger, and this will be for in between the colors, a different place on the airplane. So I'm gonna do this next. I'm gonna clean that mess, do the final painting, do the line artwork, and then I'm gonna clear coat with the spray on this because this is too matte. I could fly it like this, but when it falls on the grass or a dirty area, when it's matte like this, it gets dirty very quick. So I prefer to add a few grams and use a clear coat on this. And then after that, it's going to be the final assembly of the electronics and wheels and all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Just a few tips on detailing and doing the panel lines and so on. Very often when I do this, first of all, when you do panel lines on a paper covered airplane and you use these small markers, they are a very fine pen. You need to have good ink. If it is dry a little bit, you will have a tendency to push on the pen and it will go through the paper right away. When you do this on the paper, you just have to let the pen slide along your ruler or your cardboard template, whatever. If you push and you apply pressure, you're going to go through the paper. So many times what I do when I have repetitive forms, like here on the stabilizer, I cut myself a little piece of paper with the shape I want, and then I use it, like in this case, I use it on the four sides, like right, left, top, and bottom. So that way, I don't lose time taking measurements and stuff like that. I just have a small pattern and quickly do it. Sometimes I do rivets and stuff like that. On this plane, I won't add too many details. But yeah, just be careful. It is very easy to go through the paper with this type of pencil. It is so sharp, so little. You have to be careful. Use some templates. You see, I had this piece of plywood that I used for the trim tabs on the elevators, things like that. It really accelerates the process when you have to do this and duplicate a form like this, both sides, top and bottom. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'm getting very close to clear coat this little airplane. Well, it's almost time to go apply a coat of clear on this small model. But before I do so, I was not sure if I was going to do a lot of weathering on this model or not, but I thought it would be interesting to show you a method where you can do some very nice dirt mark on the plane without a lot of effort and without having to use any airbrush. So I use a piece of charcoal like this. You can buy these in the artist store. So that's Botanique Fusain charcoal stick. I use a sandpaper and I rub this on a fine sandpaper, like 180 grit, and I collect the dust from sanding this. And then I use a small, like #2 old brush, and I'm gonna use, I started with this one. I'm gonna use this brush. I just put a little bit of powder on it, and then I need a small piece of cardboard as a ruler, a small ruler, and I'm gonna mask the area I don't want the dirt on. And let's say this is the flap line. So by doing this, this is going to get a little bit of dirt at the places I want. Very, very good scale appearance, very easy to do, no messing with the airbrush, and you just, this is probably the last thing you do before you go to the clear on an airplane. So like here, I'm going to use the the hatch line to create some marks like this. So that's going to create the illusion of like oil spillage or something like that from the engine compartment. So when I put it in place, you get some nice fine scale details without having to work too much. I'm not gonna go extensive on this, just do a few basic things here and there. I'm gonna clear coat it, and again I'm gonna probably publish that video and do the completion later on with the electronics for this airplane. Thanks for watching.